What's up guys, Transform here, and today I have another ranked gameplay for you guys. This is a 5-stack ranked gameplay alongside my friends, and I haven't played Hilda in a while, so this is gonna be an interesting gameplay. A lot has changed since the last time I played her in ranked, and ever since the latest patch, or more like a few patches ago, there have been a lot of adjustments, so I'd like to comment on the playstyle for Hilda and whether the builds from the past can even work now. Let's talk about team composition. I'm the only tank on our team. To be honest, this is not an ideal choice for a tank, but I'll get into that a little bit later. We have another fighter on our team, so Hilda is a tank fighter, we have Zilong as a fighter. We have an assassin Gushin, a mage Kagura, as well as a marksman 1-1. And enemy team has one mage tank Esmeralda, they have a fighter Khalid alongside another one Jawhead, a mage Valir, as well as an assassin Ling. So I'm gonna say something first. Well, I really don't like the composition on both sides. To be honest, both sides our composition is really weird. But in the late game, the enemy team does have a slight advantage, and in the early game, enemy team has insane poke with the Valir, as well as insane damage from Khalid. But anyway, managed to get a first blood here because, well, Hilda in the early game is actually quite strong. But what I don't like about it is, Hilda being a tank, it kind of sucks. And the reason for that is pretty simple, because there's so much crowd control. Back in Season 5 when I used Hilda, I used Hilda as a main tank in Season 5 and I climbed really high, then it just doesn't work out. You really need a high damage, and because of your lack of crowd control, it's really not sufficient compared to the last time. Obviously now it's just impossible. Gusha made a mistake, there's a jaw hit, you're not supposed to do that, you don't even have ultimate. That's very risky. But anyway, so talk about composition wise, I'm getting countered by Esmeralda, everyone else is super tanky. I really lose the effect of my ultimate here, or more the damage. Once the mid to late game comes in, there's really nothing much I can do. And as for the enemy, they really have a very good late game. They have Ling as well as Esmeralda, which is very annoying to deal with. Although 1-1 does counter Esmeralda, everything else is kind of awkward. Zilong is just overall not a great pick, especially if you're taking Zilong as a jungler. If anything, we should have sent Gushin to the side lane, which isn't a good choice either. It's just that we don't really have a better choice here. Zilong was a unfortunate pick because my friend misclicked. Unfortunately, our Cuirass is gonna get destroyed here. Can't do anything, but we only can chase the Ling, who is very low. Unfortunately, 1-1 is dead again, and you can see just a massive brawl out. To be honest, I don't like all these things. This is way more messy than the past, and the trend right now is the games last a hell longer than it used to. Normally you can get like maybe 12 minute games, maybe 15 minutes if you're lucky. I mean, sorry, if you're lucky, maybe 12 games, 15 games is alright. What's happening right now is almost every game is dragged on like to eternity, at least 15 minutes. The snowball potential has been adjusted so much as of the patch. I'm not entirely sure which one was it, but I've been noticing that it's really long right now. And this is an issue because some early game heroes which already have an issue early on, they just kinda suck after a while. And in general, the quality of the game, or at least of the public players in general, I see it's just low. People are just fighting at the first opportunity. It feels terrible, honestly. It feels terrible compared to the past. In the past, it makes sense because you snowball so hard. So you could be forgiven if you want to do that. But now it just doesn't make sense at all. And this is really awkward because I actually don't really have optimal stuff to see. It's just people going in, like going all out, fighting, killing each other, then dying afterwards. And then the snowball never really gets going. People are just, you can still be dueling at very late time. And you can see here that two of us trying to kill this Khalid. Zilong is just, very weak. It's impossible for us to do anything. Zilong had to flicker away. As you can see, if I'm using damage, On Hilda I could have done something, but I'm not. Using tank, and eventually we still managed to get a kill on the Khalid, but it took so much resources for two of us to just kill it. So composition, as I mentioned, is not great because Hilda should have been used as a tank right now. Not as a tank, I'm sorry, but I have no choice. Our composition is just messed up in this way, but we have to make the best of it. And fortunately in this case, the enemy count is not ideal as well because they don't have a real tank as well. So this is a very awkward situation where people are just accepting the fact that people are playing Kali as a semi-tank, Jawhead as literally a tank. But to be honest, I don't approve of these things, or more like I think these definitely not the best way to go. But I must say that Hilda actually counters Link pretty well. Doesn't matter whether you build tank or you build the damage, you can still counter Link. Anyway, our team is just gonna take the objective. Enemy team is gonna have a little bit of a harder time doing it since they don't have true stealing except for Link, but I can bully him out, so it's not too much of a problem. Build wise, as I mentioned, Hilda tank is not great, but if you do have to do it, you try to focus on the damage. So I'm going Curse Helmet, focus a little bit on your mobility, a bit of damage reduction so you can survive in the front, because otherwise you don't have enough mobility to do anything. Gushan managed to get a kill to Jawhead, which is great, but as you can see, Gushan is loses to everyone else except for Valir. Or should I say, actually he loses to Valir as well. The only squishy people on the other team are Valir and Link. Other than that, it's really hard. As you can see, Link is just gonna free roam onto our back because I'm tank, which is terrible. We don't have enough crowd control for Link, so this is just gonna be a major problem. Sure, Zilong was revamped, but he's still kinda in the trash category unless you put him jungle. You can't. There are some heroes that just can't get to lane, which they're just gonna get wrecked. And Gushan is one of those weird areas where actually he's just kinda shitty in general. It's just terrible, but people don't really care about what meta is now, which is kinda annoying. Obviously, if the Esmeralda played properly, definitely could have killed the 1-1 there. But never mind about that. I'm just gonna push this mid wave, trying to go onto this Valir here, since our Cuirass is here. Additional damage. And once again, I'm in a terrible position, and there's nothing much I can do about it. I just pray hard and I run away. And fortunately, they don't have a real tank, so I'm able to survive that small amount of CC, and we immediately start the objective turtle. We managed to get 2 towers, which is very good. I'm gonna wait in the corner and see if there's anyone in the bush, and Jawhead's in the bush. And see, that's the issue here. So Hilda is slightly better than Jawhead in the sense you can still be a tank, but Jawhead is just weird. If someone runs into the bush, what do? You can't stay there. You have to leave. You can't counter engage unless the guy who ran in made a mistake, which is like sending a squishy to run it. It's just terrible. And you can see, even though Jawhead is building tank, we're still gonna be able to do stuff against him. And obviously I can get him for sure, and no issue about that because I have Curse Helmet. And Valir counters us pretty badly because he counters on melee, but you just gotta be careful here. Talking about gold, it's very interesting, but I actually am ahead on gold compared to the Kagura, which is not great because my roaming mass is kind of wasted here, but it's fine. My next item is anti-Cuirass. Well, basically just gives me survivability, reduces the damage, help me tank a little bit more. Another option I would say after your Curse Helmet would be Brute Force Breastplate, gives you a lot more mobility. And on a side note, that actually works very well on Yuzong because you really need a mobility because you're taking all the crowd control from everywhere. Doesn't matter how you play him. Once again, just opening map. The way Hilda acts as a tank is not ideal, but the way you have to do it is literally use your second skill, whack people, use your first skill to slow if you're in a safe zone. If not, save your first skill for the most case to to run away. We managed to get a Valero here because we focused him, and our team is just a terrible spot. Gushen's is dead, massive counters, too many tanky people. Gushen's just useless at that point. Our marksman and Zilong are trying to go on, and he managed to get the Zilong, which is great. So what you've been seeing so far are basic skirmishes everywhere, which is not the conventional type of team fight. But I would say in what's happening right now is really nothing much right there. It's just that. As you can see, because I'm dealing tank, I do no damage to Esmeralda, as long as countered by Esmeralda as well. So it's just terrible. There's no way I'm gonna get it out of here. You can see the great thing is 1-1 counters Esmeralda, and 1-1 could have ulted there immediately. It's just that, well, it's not ideal, I guess, because you really need to stack it, and the ult on the Kali wasn't great either because Kali just immediately went to heal, and that was just terrible because I just came back from base. Our team decided to go crazy because they got a kill onto Esmeralda. Not great at all. So what we are seeing on our team comp is basically we have no opportunity to counter engage. It's not like, let's say, a real tank like Minotaur or Tigreal will have opportunity to counter engage. Let's say if they just dive on our team, I can still counter engage in that sense. But here it is, it's just awkward. We try to poke here, Gushen going in, jumping to his death, trying to kill a Kali is definitely not a good idea. As for myself, I was just poking. That's why it is as Hilda. But it took it as a full-on fight and they just went all the way in, which is not great. Nothing much you can do here. In terms of farm, we're actually slightly behind, but it's not too big of a deal. The main issue is once we get the Valere out of the way, and the main damage will be Ling, and the rest will be fine. In some sense, Esmeralda is important to get, but the enemy team is just taking Lord now. And we're just trying to steal. It's unfortunately not gonna happen. 1-1's gonna be the tough spot. Popping that Wind of Nature right there. Poke all the way. But 1-1's running all the way back. And there's no way we can do anything. I just tried running from the bottom up, but 1-1's running away as well. It's really hard for me as a Hilda as a tank to do that. So as you can see, after my 2 defensive items, I decided to immediately go for my damage item, because honestly, in this point in time, it just doesn't make sense to play Hilda as a tank. You're just gonna miss out everything. Your ultimate becomes literally useless. Our team is in a terrible spot, getting destroyed everywhere. 4 lords coming in, and myself, I'm just trying to go on the Valero here. Valero use Flicker, and you can see Valero counters all melee heroes, which is terrible, especially since I didn't have the damage to one-shot him. But fortunately, our team has to do well, and Ling just can't do anything. Hiding in the bush, you just can't fight this Hilda, especially I have anti-Cuirass, not gonna happen. Once again, got pushed back by Valero. In some sense, I could have played this better by not using my first skill so early, but the pushback from Valero is just really annoying. And here I went a little bit too far, and I'm just gonna pay for that. But good thing is our team has less pressure, and we managed to secure and clear the wave without losing our inhibitor towers. Our team managed to engage onto this Khalid, who missed position. Kali is at 10,000, which is pretty damn fun, but well, you know, it's really messy, you know. At this point, it's just awkward. Everyone's at the 15-minute mark. Good. Enemy team is slightly more farm than us, but in general, everyone's pretty much fully stacked.
Tranquil as a poem, but raging within.
We're just gonna clear our lanes, make sure we don't get pushed in. And Esmeralda coming around the side. You can see I can do nothing to Esmeralda because of my shield. But as a distraction, Joy is actually trying to engage on our backline. You can see why Joy is trash as a tank, because he can't do anything. Unfortunately, I'm gonna get destroyed because my shield is terrible. Zilong managed to get the link just in time. Unfortunately, Cargo is still gonna die, and we're just gonna left with Zilong and 1-1. But the enemy team has no one else. Kali's gonna get stunned right there, and two people finally managed. The two of them managed to finally clear out the Kali. So at this point, everyone's wiped. Everyone's not gonna come back, but they're coming back in a few seconds with a few minutes left. Zilong went in to tank the tower first, and then we're just gonna force the tower out. And Joy is coming out there. Zilong is executed, but we still managed to get the tower in the end. So GG, well played. Very interesting game in a sense, but to be honest, this is kind of the state of all games right now, which is really annoying. People are bouncing back and forth. You don't know what's really happening at all the times. But this seems to be the quality games. Let me know if you experience anything related to this. Maybe it's because people are moving to Wild Rift. Just my general observation is everyone's playing kind of wonky, and people actually play better in the past. I think even though they say they improve matchmaking, it feels awkward. So anyhow, eventually I still managed to get MVP, which is a huge surprise. But I did manage to guard pretty well in my capacity as a tank for Hilda. But I will say this once again, Hilda is best played as a fighter, and I will encourage you not to play Hilda as a tank, at least not in this season. Used to be good like 10 plus seasons ago. But let's not bring this tank Hilda or tank Joy, tank Kali things up again, because I honestly think it's just horrible, and there's a reason for a lot of frustration for a lot of people out there, because this doesn't feel like a proper MOBA. People are not playing like team fights, they're playing skirmishes, which is very weird. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This is Cuirass, so signing off. I'll see you guys next time.